first pro of the FUT procedure is the one that everybody talks about the most, and that is the amount of hairs that you're able to get from one procedure. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like being cut up, and I'd like to minimize the amount of time I have to spend on the table with a doctor cutting into my scalp. When I consider that point, FUT makes perfect sense because with FUT, the doctor is able to harvest a greater number of hairs at one time, as opposed to the FUE method, which allows you to get to that full head of hair faster than you would with the FUE procedure. In my case, I also chose FUT. That was one of the deciding factors for me. I didn't want to get under the knife twice or 3 times or 4 times. I wanted to get as many hairs as I could in one sitting so I can move on with my life. The second pro of the FUT procedure is price. This is one of the largest barriers to entry for a lot of people who are looking to restore their hair through surgical methods. FUT gives the patient the best bang for buck. Here in South Korea, where I am now, I've seen FUT surgeries go as low as $2,000, which means that you're able to get that great number of hairs for a low cost compared to something like the FUE method where you have to spend several more $1,000s to get similar results. Now, the third pro for having an FUT procedure is that it can be performed much faster than an FUE procedure. FUT procedures can be performed in as little as 2 hours, depending on how much the doctor is trying to harvest and how big the donor site is going to be. First con of having a FUT procedure is the one that everybody talks about. You can go on YouTube, you can go to the message boards. When you see FUT and you see the people telling you not to get the procedure, they always mention, what? The scar. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Are you going to have a scar in the back of your head? Yes. Are you going to have a scar for the rest of your life? Yes. Is that scar gonna be absolutely ugly and horrible and gruesome and have you looking like you were an extra in some kind of horror film? Maybe. I'm sure this is not the answer you're looking for, but the reality is maybe, because it depends. How can you minimize the likelihood of your scar ending up looking like something absolutely terrible? It's easy. Do your homework, guys. When you're researching clinics and you're researching surgeons to perform the surgery, ask the surgeon straight up, hey, can I see your portfolio of previous clients? See the suture methods, see how the scar healed up after they performed the surgery. Also look months after the surgery was completed to see how it actually healed up, because you can use that as a basis to make a decision on whether or not this surgeon has the expertise to perform the procedure on your head. The second con of having an FUT procedure is the fact that you're gonna be dealing with the healing process for much longer than FUE. Why? Because somebody just cut the back of your head off. You literally had a chunk of your skin cut off from the back of your head. If you think that you're gonna be able to get up the next day and go play racquetball in the middle of your gym, nope. You know what? You deserve whatever's coming to you. The healing time is longer than an FUE procedure. From my personal experience, after my FUT procedure, I wasn't able to really get into my normal grind of things, especially when it came to exercise, for about maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Every time I would try to lift up something that was over 40 pounds, you just feel a tug. There's like a pulling sensation. You feel a pulling sensation on that suture site where they closed up the incision. All right, if the doctor tells you don't resume any physical or strenuous activity for 4 to 6 weeks, they mean 4 to 6 weeks. All right, you are not Superman. You are not an exception to the rule. Your body is just like everybody else's body when it comes to healing. Okay, unless you are Superman, then you know that's cool, man. I'd like to meet you. Subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome too. But are there some things that you can do to speed up the healing process? Yeah, you know, firstly, keep the incision site clean. But you can also start applying something like some Neosporin or something to help speed up the healing process. And this leads naturally into the third con, and that is the one that everybody fears the most: the stretching of the scar. This is a reality. It's a reality. I am proof that it's a reality. Can the FUT scar stretch? Yes, it can actually. And there's a couple of factors that play into that. One, surprisingly, is not the expertise of the doctor. The doctor suturing up the incision site has no effect on whether or not your skin is going to stretch. Don't believe the bro science. The doctor, when he closes up the incision site, it's closed. Okay, there's a couple of closure methods, but they're all giving the same outcome. How does stretching happen? Well, it depends on your own skin's elasticity. If your skin is more elastic than others, you're going to experience some stretching. Don't believe in the doctor because the doctor has no control over how much elasticity your skin has. All right, that's genetic. Blame your mommy, blame your daddy, maybe grandma too. I don't know how far back you want to go. What the fuck am I talking about, dude? And just like I mentioned a moment ago, exercise. Guys, don't have an FUT procedure and then 2 weeks later go into the gym and start deadlifting. I'm telling you from personal experience, okay? I personally made that mistake because I thought I was different than everybody else. I didn't listen to the instructions. I went into the gym after 3 weeks post-surgery. I went in there and tried to deadlift, and what happened? The right side of my scar stretched. So there you have it, guys. In this video, we talked about the 3 pros and the 3 cons of having an FUT procedure. I'm DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. See you guys in the next video.